Over the course of his 35 years inside the ring, Ric Flair orchestrated arguably the greatest career in the history of sports entertainment. With an unpredicted...
Jarrett, what are you doing?
What do you mean, man?
Why are you reading?
Ric Flair, I like his book.
We're going over time already. We're already on part 4. Plus, this is not even Ric Flair's page. That's Hulk Hogan's page.
Shit.
You can't even read.
Dude, I'm just looking at the pictures. Shit, there's a lot of pictures in this book. Speaking of the nature boy Ric Flair stepped back in the ring in the month of July at Victory Road against a man named Jay Lethal, who was looking not to humiliate, but to pay tribute to his favorite wrestler, the nature boy Ric Flair, on a July Impact. With an invitation to Ric Flair, it started a trend in the professional wrestling world. Jay Lethal begins his invitation to the nature boy Ric Flair, and it begins the Walk the Talk Challenge. TNA fans can upload and submit their own invitations of Ric Flair. Wait, you saw some of the entries?
Yeah, I saw some of the entries, and I want to tell you. Can I tell you what I thought of them?
Yeah.
They suck more balls than a French hooker.
You know something, big man? I'm still not over that. You see, it's been almost 6 months, brother. And you see, the big man said I should have been the champ. You see, I'm the real world champion. You should have been a fat boy. So we're doing something. You see, everybody, little girls and their mothers, know that I, am the true limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. See, I'm a little better. David King, you suck. You broke my heart, man. We'll get to him later. Just wait. Trust me. Just wait. But in the month of July, the Nexus rampage continued in the WWE. They began to attack John Cena on a regular basis. And really attacked anybody. They even attacked on SmackDown. They attacked on NXT. They went everywhere. The Nexus was invading. Speaking of the Nexus, they were involved in Money in the Bank. 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches on pay-per-view. The first one from SmackDown, Kane becomes Money in the Bank winner and wastes no time at all cashing in. He cashes in that night on a vulnerable Rey Mysterio, and Kane becomes the World Heavyweight Champion. The other side of the coin on Raw, the awesome Miz becomes Money in the Bank. The United States Champion had Money in the Bank with him. But at Money in the Bank, it was John Cena and Sheamus inside the cage, hoping that John Cena could get a fair rematch. But the Nexus still gets involved, and Sheamus retains the WWE Championship. There was the Undertaker as well. The mystery continued. And with Kane's World Heavyweight Championship and new sense of power, it looked like Kane was going to solve this mystery. CM Punk, The Big Show, Rey Mysterio, Jack Swagger, all interrogated, but the mystery continued in the month of July. But Wade, there's something you need to talk about. An extreme return in TNA. An extreme revolution began to appear in the Impact Zone.
That's right. It all started when a few extreme wrestlers showed up in the stands in the Impact Zone during certain matches in the night, watching the matches. Everybody was wondering, what are these ECW originals doing in the Impact Zone?
And the mystery continued when the Monster Abyss came out to the ring and stated they were on their way. They were coming to TNA. Was they the Extreme Revolutionists? We would find out in the month of August that it was not the Extreme Revolutionists, because Tommy Dreamer and the gang had a hardcore justice, a final stand, if you will, on pay-per-view. The Extreme Revolutionists, Wade, took it to a whole new level on pay-per-view.
Oh, brother, that's right. The whole night was dedicated to the style of ECW, and let me tell you something, brother. It was incredible.
It was a night that was supposed to rekindle and finally put to rest ECW, the real ECW. Double main event, Tommy Dreamer and Raven, the final battle in one of the most gruesome contests I've ever seen.
That's right, it was hardcore To the extreme.
And how about the main event? The TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Rob Van Dam, goes one-on-one with his tag team partner, Sabu. And you know what? Sabu didn't botch. What?
I mean, he is 46.
What? And the month for TNA was just beginning because they would strike. You see,
the following Thursday was the whole effing show. Because there was no hard justice pay-per-view. We got the whole effing show, fully on Impact. From a tremendous contest with the Motor City Machine Guns and Beer Money to the main event, the Stairway to Janice match for the World Heavyweight title. Rob Van Dam, 4 days off a brutal match with Sabu, takes on the Monster Abyss in a Stairway to Janice match. Van Dam wins the matchup, Wade, and the Extreme Revolutionists come out for a celebration. And the lights go out.
And standing in the ring, who is it but Fortune?
Well, at the time, they were not named Fortune, but the members of Fortune and Ric Flair attack, brutalize, and bloody the ECW originals. The bigger story, Abyss and Rob Van Dam are nowhere to be found until we have a camera backstage where Janice got a piece, more than a piece, of the World Heavyweight Champion. A brutal attack from Abyss sends Rob Van Dam to the hospital. We would get more information on that on the debut of Reaction. And a gruesome sight was the World Heavyweight Champion Rob Van Dam. In response to Abyss's actions, though, the only option Eric Bischoff had was to vacate the world title. The very belt that Sting said represented deception was now vacant. What would that mean for the World Heavyweight title, Wade? TNA was in chaos. And in chaos, men do desperate things. And Ric Flair garnered his troops. And the Fortune was founded. And Fortune began to run terror over TNA, with AJ Styles winning the global title from Rob Terry, and Fortune was off and running. Other side, though, the WWE was there. And you see, in August, Caval would win NXT Season number 2.
That's right. Caval, one of the most talked about rookies of the year, and an indie sweetheart, as Michael Cole called him. But at the same time, we have SummerSlam, my friend. Team WWE, led by John Cena, with a mystery partner versus the Nexus.
Bret Hart was in that match as well. But remember, we did not know who the 7th man would be. The Great Khali was scheduled to be that 7th man, taken out by the Nexus. Miz comes out and says, "I'm your guy." John Cena says, "No." And we'd only find out that John Cena had an ace up his sleeve. The return of Daniel Bryan. Who else would know the Nexus better than a man who was on that season with all 7 Nexus members? And it came down to 3-on-1 when Super Cena came to the rescue and beat the Nexus. Kind of hurt the Nexus a little bit. A little bit of momentum killed. It's growing! But that was not the only news at SummerSlam. Randy Orton became the WWE Champion.
That's right.
And Rey Mysterio got his return match at Kane for the World Heavyweight Championship. A casket was rolled to ringside, the red casket of Kane. He looked to put Rey Mysterio in the casket, when what does he find? The Undertaker. The Undertaker returns from his vegetative state, and he points at Rey Mysterio, and the world thinks it was Mysterio who put the Undertaker in his state. But in all respect, it was Kane. And Kane put down the Undertaker that night in one of the most shocking turn events ever. But the last piece of news we have from August is the return of true tag team wrestling. We have 30 seconds. The Machine Guns win the titles over Beer Money in the 5-match series. Tag team wrestling had returned, Wade. And in the month of September, tag team wrestling would take another turn in TNA. The Undertaker was back. Tag team wrestling was there. Fortune and Nexus were running wild, and they were coming.